All right, this is on errors in sampling. There's not going to be a whole lot to write in this lesson. It's more vocabulary, getting used to when we do our statistics project. So I'm just going to read and highlight a few things for you. A census is the most accurate way to investigate a population of interest. However, in most situations, it's impractical or impossible to obtain data from the entire population. Instead, you can conduct a survey of a well-chosen sample of population. So imagine you go out and survey your friends and you ask them what their favorite color is. You wouldn't be able to ask everyone in the entire world that question, but it's a sample. When we collect data to estimate a characteristic of population or our estimate, we will most likely be certain different from actual characteristics of the entire population. This difference is referred to as an error. There are four main categories for errors: sampling error, measurement error, coverage error, and non-response error. So sampling error occurs when a characteristic of a sample differs from that of the whole population. This error is random and will occur even for samples which are well chosen to avoid bias. And we'll get more into what a bias is later. Measurement error refers to inaccuracies in measurements at the data collection stage. For example, when we record a person's height to the nearest centimeter, the recorder is going to have to approximate their height and not have it be exact. So here are some definitions for you to keep in mind. Data is the information about the characteristic of a group. Categorical describes a particular characteristic, which can be divided into categories. So some examples might be that favorite color. Your category choices could be red, yellow, green, blue. Quantitative variables are numerical, things that can be counted or measured, like how tall you are, how much do you weigh. Population is an entire collection of individuals about which we want to draw a conclusion. So maybe your population is the students at Park High School. A census is the collection of information from the entire population. A parameter is a numerical quantity measuring some aspect of a population. Sample is a group of individuals selected from a sample. A survey is the collection of information from that sample. So like you go out and survey your friends that favorite color. Statistics is a quantity calculated from data gathered from a sample, usually used to estimate a population parameter. So lots of definitions there for you. So measurement error can also arise when we survey students or people and you might word your question incorrectly. So we're going to be kind of introducing surveys and how do you go out and ask people's appropriate questions and to avoid like biases. Some other errors that could occur are coverage errors. Occur when sample does not truly reflect the population we're trying to find. To avoid coverage areas, samples should be sufficiently large and unbiased. So you don't want to just go out and ask all of your friends. You want to ask people who you don't know that question. For example, suppose you're interested in the health of bees on a particular island. If you only collect data from 10 bees, you will not get reliable data of the health of all the bees on the island. If you only collect data from one particular beehive, the sample may not be representative of all of the bees on the island. For example, the hive you picked may be stressed and preparing to swarm, whereas in a neighboring hive may be healthy. The sample would therefore be a biased sample and would be unreliable for forming conclusions about the whole population. The last type of error is non-response errors. Occur when a large population of people selected for a survey chose not to respond to it. They don't want to answer the question. Maybe you're going to ask your gender, and people may not want to be truthful about what gender they are. I'm just I'm giving you an example. Some other examples might be an online survey is less likely to be completed by elderly people who are unfamiliar with technology. This means that elderly people will be unrepresentative in the survey. In surveys of customer satisfaction, people are more likely to respond if they are unsatisfied. So that might be another method of a bias.